You're watching Picks on Politics.
And welcome back to Picks on Politics, everybody. Big moves on the budget this past week in New York City. The large sweeping cuts slowing down and dialed back by Mayor Eric Adams. So let's break this down for you. In November, Mayor Adams proposed 5% cuts across the board. At the time, that meant the cancellation of 5 NYPD cadet classes, cutting FDNY overtime, Department of Sanitation Services, and $500 million in education cuts. But in the last week, Mayor Adams reversed some of those cuts, including a new NYPD recruit class. The FDNY will be able to keep a 5th firefighter on shift, and the city will likely keep its summer rising program. So what made the difference? According to the mayor, increased tax revenue and lower migrant costs. While this is certainly good news for the city, some council members and other organizations have criticized the mayor for asking for bigger cuts than what was needed. To discuss this further, I want to bring in City Council Finance Chair Justin Brannan. So, council member, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good seeing you, Dan. Thanks for having me.
A lot to talk about on the budget front in just a second, but I do want to begin with a bit of a different story here. A move made by the mayor on Friday vetoing the How Many Stops Act, which would require, for those who don't know, police officers to record some encounters with the public. It passed in the city council veto-proof, saying the mayor says we cannot handcuff police. The question for you is, it was veto-proof, so now will you override the veto?
The plan is to override the veto. The council wouldn't have passed the bill if we didn't think it was something we believed in and something that we believed should be passed. That's pretty simple.
Do you share, though, in the concern from the mayor? I mean, he gave a very lengthy press conference on Friday, along with a lot of elected officials, police, saying that this is going to hamper and slow down police efforts moving forward. They cited the example of the serial stabber in Queens over and over again, saying that every person they stop, they'd have to record. Do you share that concern?
No, I mean, I'm glad that the bill that some people are describing is not actually the bill that the council passed. I think there's a lot of bad information out there, right? I have no interest, the council has no interest in the police recording every interaction. If they see a person on the street or someone's asking for directions or someone needs help, finding the nearest Starbucks, I don't care about that. We don't need that information, and that's not what this bill does. These stops are already recorded, so it's just a matter of adding an additional piece of data to that drop-down menu. Keep hearing about paperwork. Yeah. This is 2024. There's no paperwork. It's all done on computer. It's all done on drop-down menus. So okay. I think there's just a lot of bad information out there. I think that this is about transparency and accountability, and I think that the council and the mayor both agrees on that. But it's important that we know the facts of the bill, and I think the bill that's being described is not the bill that we voted for.
Understood. All right, so overriding that veto, so it's going to become a showdown in the city council. Let's talk about the budget. It seems once the mayor saw that the city didn't need to cut as much as originally thought, he started to reverse course, right? So let me ask you first and foremost on what you thought of the rollbacks of the cuts. And it was something you kind of were saying all along, the money was there.
Yeah, I mean, we predicted back in November when the council put out our updated economic forecast that we saw about $1.5 billion over the remainder of FY24 and FY25. And a lot of people said we were too liberal, we were crazy, the council has no idea what they're talking about. And then OMB came out, with an estimate of almost $3 billion, double what the council said. So we knew the money was there. We knew that as soon as OMB, the Mayor's Office of Management and Budget, we knew that as soon as they acknowledged the tax revenue that was already sitting there, that they would reverse these cuts. So therefore, we didn't think the cuts were ever necessary in the first place. And I think it was just a very unhelpful narrative to have, for 6 months, New Yorkers saying, why is the mayor firing cops, to help the migrants? And it's an awful us versus them narrative, and it wasn't necessary.
Okay, I did interview the mayor about this. I want to play some of what he had to say and then get your reaction. Did it have anything to do with the fact that the council and the finance chair had said, we're not going to vote on the budget the way it is with the cuts that were coming, and so you had to make the changes to get it maybe approved moving forward down the line?
No, not at all. We have to balance our budget by law. The money that's coming in must equal the money that's going out. We knew we wanted to invest in people, public safety, and spaces, as I stated, and continue the success of bringing down crime, increasing jobs.
So what are your thoughts? Were those cuts going to happen if things did not change?
Well, it's hard to say because the money that enabled the mayor to restore these cuts was already there last year. So, when the council put out our economic forecast in November, where we're talking about the fiscal reality snapshot of that moment. So it wasn't that anything changed between now and then that allowed them to restore these cuts. They're going on tax revenue that is currently in the city coffers. So, look, I've been saying since day one, I agree with the mayor in that the migrant crisis should have never have been the sole responsibility of a municipality. We desperately need help from Washington. It's not coming. So we're getting help from Albany finally. But that said, the city's economy has proven to be durable and resilient, and the tax revenue is there. So these harsh cuts were just never necessary.
So I asked you this last time, if you would have voted on the budget the way it was. You said no. Looking at the budget proposal now, would you vote on the budget?
Well, I think the devil is still in the details. I think there's still a lot of large print, right? And our team, we're actually having meetings every day, digging into.
What are the details? What's something you're looking at that maybe you're not sure of yet if you want to vote?
Well, we're looking at money for schools. We're looking at money for libraries. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of priorities that the council fought really hard for in the budget that we passed last June that we're looking to see if there's money there to restore those priorities. We're happy that these cuts were restored. They were never necessary. And now we move on from there to the rest of our priorities.
Okay, so this is where the debate begins, right?
It's never a dull moment in the city council.
Never a dull moment. Councilman Justin Brannan, keep us posted on this and the latest of the budget talks. You're welcome back anytime. Good to see you.